Good morning. I had a question from a student, and the question was about non-standard units. So if you take a look in the blue over here, I've written what are standard units. So for length, we have centimeters, meters, kilometers. For mass, a standard unit would be a gram or a kilogram. You could even add pounds, inches. Those are standard units. Whenever someone says a gram, they know how much a gram it weighs. When someone says a meter, they know how long a meter is. Same with standard units for capacity. For capacity, you have milliliters and you have liters. And when you talk about those items, everywhere, scientists around the world will understand these standard units. So when we say non-standard, we mean not standard units. So something like you don't have your ruler with you, so you measure something with your pinky, and your pinky might be, my pinky's a bit bigger than a centimeter wide. Your pinky is probably less than a centimeter wide. So it's not the same length. You know, someone might have a giant pinky. Who knows? The length of your arm, if you measure something with that. Obviously, my arm is going to be much longer because I'm an adult. So that would not be standard. So if I say, well, it takes 4 arms to go from the floor to the top of the door, well, it might take 8 of your arms because your arms are going to be tinier. And we might just pick something up like one of the counting cubes, and we might just line those up beside something and measure the length. Or you might use a marker, like how long is the table? You might discover that it's 18 markers long. Or you might even measure the marker. So I took a marker, just that's on the table here, and it is 12 of my pinkies long. From the floor to the ceiling was 8 arms, from like my elbows to the tip of my fingers. I'm not sure if that's what I said earlier. So, all right. So I wanted to take a peek at this. It says, which pair of lines is easier to compare? A and B or C and D? Well, A and B are easier to compare because they start at the same spot and then they just go, and A just goes, and they're parallel. And it's very easy to tell that A is longer than B. Here, C and D is harder to tell. I mean, you can still tell C is longer and D is shorter, but it's just easier and quicker with A and B. And then it says use small cubes. And if we were in class, we would just get a counting cube. So I don't even have a counting cube at home. How sad is that? So I did this. Oh, I made a bajillion squares. And I just made one, and I pressed copy, paste, 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 copy, paste, copy, paste. It was a lot of fun. All right, so how long is line A? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's a little bit more than 20. So I can say A is 20 cubes long. You know what I was doing is I was leaving a distance between the cubes so that you could tell that they were separate cubes. But really, I mean, if I decided, oh, if I just go up and down, you can tell that they're separate cubes. So this is going to be a little bit low because I left all these spaces here, but I'm not going to respace them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And for all those spaces, I'm going to give him this line one more, 17. So B is 17 cubes long. Now C, the line is diagonal. So it makes it difficult to put the cubes in place, but I did put them down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a little bit, but it's 19. I mean, because that line has a little bit too. So C is 19 cubes long. D, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17. See now, I really should redo that line because I'm not certain. Use large cubes to measure the lines in question 1. So I'm going to see, can I grab this? No, I have to use the different utility, a select tool. So if I move that up here and I go 1 cube, and I'm just going to go Apple copy, insert, 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 insert. And I'll move this guy, you go over here. It doesn't matter which side I start at. You go here, and I'll leave a little bit of space. You go here. And you should notice it's not going to take as many blue squares to cover or to measure the line. Why? Because the blue squares are bigger. So let's see. We'll just do this for the first line. And let me just copy that and a few more in there. And you go here. Out of the way, out of the way. Move it. Step aside, step aside. Things to do here. And there. And you can see it's, if I go back to my pen. Is that my pen? I better change the color because now it's all. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I could also measure line B, but you could see line B is going to be right around up there. It's going to be around 9 of these big squares. So these are not standard units. If I tell a scientist in Australia, oh yeah, use red squares, they're going, what? What do you mean? Tell me the like the standard length, centimeters, meters. If I say use blue squares, big blue squares, they'll say, what? I don't get it. And they'll think you're crazy. All right, so, this one is 12 small cubes long. I wonder, those cubes look like they're about a centimeter long. Yeah, I'm not going to, I've got something cool at the end. Oh, here, I can do this quickly. I measured the paperclip. I made an arrow like that. And then I figured out a way to rotate it. And so how many paper clips is this line? It's one paper clip, two paper clips, three paper clips, just a little bit more than four paper clips. And that might be overlapping. So four paper clips. And they gave you units. And then they want you to measure things like a large rug. Like a large rug, I would use probably how many running shoes. Is it a piece of paper? I might use paper clips. A smartphone, I would want to use something like a cube or a large paper clip. A cube will tell me exactly how many I need. The top of this desk, I might use the shoe or the marker. But I've got a fun thing on this set of handouts. I've got, I love it. I've got the answers. So we talked about this. Which pair of lines is easier to compare? A and B, because they are lined up beside each other, so the ends start at the same place, which is what we were saying. Now, use small cubes to measure each line in question 1. I tried to make my red square about that big, but I think mine was a little smaller because they say A is 17. So this is A is the longest. B is 15. C is 16. And D is 14. So with my cubes, I think B and C came almost to the same length. Order the lines from shortest to longest. So this guy is shortest, he goes first, and we carry on DBCA. Draw a line that is 12 small cubes long. See, there, that line is longer than the one I made. Let's go back to the one I made. Yeah, see, mine is this long. And so their cube must be bigger because look how big their line is. Yeah, that's a long line. The cube is bigger than the one I used. And then if you use the large cube, 8 or 9 large cubes for line A, 7 or 8 for line B, 8 for line C, 7 for line D. Well, what happened? I used more small cubes than big cubes to measure each line, since each big cube is longer. Okay, you can read the rest of that if you like. Estimate. Yay, that's what we got. 4 paper clips long. And I did even more than estimate. Okay, so let's see. They said these are the units you can choose from. Okay, and here are the objects that you need to measure. Oh, I hate when they say answers may vary. If it's a large rug, I say you're going to use a running shoe, make sure it's clean. But yeah, I guess you could use a marker too. A piece of paper, I would use a paper clip, a rod maybe. A smartphone, I'd measure it in cubes or paper clips. That'll get you closer to the real length. The top of the desk, you can use a rod or a marker. You can imagine the fun we'd be having in class doing this. Would you use a marker to measure a phone? Why? No, a marker is too long. A phone is shorter or just a little bit bigger than one marker. Would you use a cube to measure a rug? Why? No, a cube is too small. It would take way too many of them. Like, and you get halfway done and you're going 1,312. And then someone would talk to you and then you go, oh, I forget what number I'm at. I have to start over. Oh no. So you would not use a small cube. Da, 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 da. Find two objects in the classroom. Oh, that makes me sad. All right, so this is the end of my standard units in blue, non-standard units comparison. And I'm going to post this video, and I do hope that you enjoy it. And I hope that it answers a bunch of your questions. I'll check in with the particular student that asked the question. Okay, thanks so much.